Good morning, welcome to Furry and Spoilt. Today I'm going to talk to you about dog arthritis and whether eggs help. So, ooh, um, I've done a whole series of videos on arthritis and different things that do and don't help, and it's been really interesting. And what I need to tell you is all the things that I've been doing, supplements, exercise, all of it. The improvement in Humpsy has been absolutely amazing. And this might sound like a little bit of an odd thing, but for the we've had him for 10 weeks, and for the first time in 10 weeks, he was able to lick around, his back end, which he has never been able to do in the time we've had him, because of the pain. Now he's got the flexibility and the pain relief there that he's able to do that, and it's really good. So I'm really pleased with what we're doing and how it's all working, and it's all going great, and he's running, and he's great. As you can see, he's very wet and he's a bit muddy because we had a muddy wet walk this morning, and he loves running through puddles and all of that. And if you watch my other videos, you'll know the benefits of the exercise. So I'm going to talk to you about eggs. Now, I've seen good things and bad things, and it's all a little bit contradictory. So I've really researched this, and this is what I've come up with. To keep it short, egg yolks are bad for joint pain because they contain a thing which I can't pronounce. I think it's arachidonic acid. I'll spell it out in case you want to research it yourself. arachidonic acid. And what that does is that causes inflammation at the joint. So for me, that's nice and simple. Egg yolks, absolutely no way. Now, it has been proven. They did a study in 2016. It wasn't a massive study, but nonetheless, it was a study. And it's been proven that the membranes of eggshell significantly reduced joint pain, and actually improved the function of the joint. That's great. But the problem is that if you give your dog eggshell, if there was salmonella in that egg, the eggshell is going to have salmonella, and dogs can catch salmonella, and obviously we can. So I had to have a little bit of a think here, because I was, well, if the eggshell membrane really is that good for them, then obviously I want to do everything I can. And what really is, what are the chances that you're going to get, how many eggs actually have salmonella? Well, I don't know. Maybe lots do, raw eggs. I don't know. I know obviously it's a problem, it's a thing. But I don't know what the ratio is. But what I do know is that I don't want to risk them getting salmonella. And it's not just them, it would be us as well. Because if they do get salmonella, that's going to be around their mouth. And, you know what it's like with dogs. They're all over the house and they're everywhere. And I just don't really think the salmonella risk is worth it. The study was done on 51 dogs. It wasn't a massive study. But there does seem to be, the evidence is there that it did work. It did do a good job. I'm really torn about this. I'm really torn because I massively want to try it, because I think, well, if it's something else that can just help a bit more, then that's great. But you imagine how sick they would get if they got salmonella, and then how sick we could get. And this is the other thing. If I got salmonella and I was out of action for a while, and salmonella can really, it can put you in hospital, we would be in a bit of a mess, because somebody else would have to look after them. Even my husband, he does great with them and everything, but I'm their primary, I'm the one who always looks after them. It just wouldn't be good for them. And I know that the chances of catching salmonella were probably low, but it's still a risk, and I don't think it's a risk worth taking. So this is what I've decided. Because first of all, I was thinking, well, I could give them hard-boiled eggs, and then you're cooking the shell and the egg inside. But then I found out about this acid that's in the yolks, and that's not up for debate. That is proven that egg yolk causes inflammation. And that would go for humans as well. Any human that's got arthritis or joint problem, egg yolk causes it. It's not just a dog thing. That's a human thing as well. In fact, all of the research I've done on arthritis, all accounts to humans as well, not just dogs. So, this is the conclusion I've come to. I'm not going to give them any eggs at all. Like I said, if it wasn't going all so successfully, possibly I would. They are so fast asleep, out cold. But I don't think it's the risk with the salmonella. I'm really interested to know your points on this. Which way, are you going to go with it? The other thing is, I do sometimes give my dog scrambled eggs and stuff like that, and I won't be doing that anymore because Humps. So he's our rescue from Korea. We've only had him 10 weeks. He's only young, but he has bad arthritis, which we are really doing a great job with. But Albert here, he's 9.5. So even though he doesn't have arthritis or anything like that, I have got to be aware of his joints. So no more scrambled egg in this house. No more eggs in this house for my dogs at all. Purely because of the yolk thing. That's proven without fact that egg yolk has this acid in it, and that acid causes dogs inflammation. And inflammation is going to, as we all know, inflammation on the joint causes pain, and that just isn't something we want. You don't want inflammation, and that's the other thing, is that you don't want inflammation in your dog at all. And if you know my channel well, you'll know that hot spots is something that I had to deal with Albert early on. When we first got him, had horrendous hot spots. Nearly had to be put down with it, but we got him, we sorted him all out, and he's fine. And inflammation is one of the things that I avoid. Now, whilst it is primarily a joint inflammation that it causes, it will also cause inflammation all over the body, and so that is a massive thing that I avoid when it comes to hot spots. It's just all together. And the other thing that came up about, I knew this about eggs anyway, but the fattening level, they are very fattening, which I did know from a human. I know you shouldn't eat too many eggs, but it just all adds up to, it just isn't good. There's too much bad stuff. It's not sitting with me at all, so I won't be using eggs with my dogs. So the answers to do eggs help for me? Not really. It's not worth it. Could you please let me know which way you're going with this? Because I've had to make this decision just recently. I just found this stuff out. I was feeding my dog. I can't talk. I was feeding my dogs eggs. I sometimes give them some scrambled egg. In fact, if you watch my video on what I feed my dog, that is in there, because I was feeding my dog eggs at lunchtime sometimes. Not every day, but sometimes. But I made the decision not to do that anymore. But I'd really be interested in your point on that. Are you just not? Is the salmonella risk just not that big for you? And so you will not feeding them eggs, because we know yolks is bad. But would you be feeding them the shell? Crushed up, I'm assuming. I don't imagine eggshell is nice. It'd have to be crushed up. But anyway, yeah, really interested, please let me know what your thoughts are on this. But I'm going to stick with no eggs at all for my dogs because of that. That's it. So I hope you're all okay. I hope that your dogs with arthritis, there's improvement there, because honestly, if you haven't watched, I'll link it at the end of this video, but if you haven't watched my video, 2 videos absolutely blew my mind away. The exercise video and how that improves arthritis was incredibly interesting and amazing and makes so much sense. And yeah, really, really worth watching that. And the other video that I did that really has helped no end is the supplement. All of the supplements, as I went through it all, and I told you how it all, what each supplement did for the dog. And you need ones that are going to build cartilage, you need ones that are going to reduce inflammation, so you need all different things. But what I'm absolutely convinced is that the last thing that I came across was hyaluronic acid. And since we've been giving that to the boys, I honestly, really massive improvements with Humps here and his arthritis, massive. Really, really, really pleased with it. It's just tablet form, and you go and watch the video. It's so interesting, really interesting. So what I'll do is I'll link the arthritis playlist at the end of the video, and then you can just go into that and then just pick whichever one you want to watch. But honestly, it's been such an interesting journey for me, because I'd never had a dog with arthritis before. All my years of owning dogs, all different ages, I'd never come across had a dog with arthritis, which I feel incredibly blessed about. But it looks like I'm not recording, doesn't it? Because there's absolutely no movement there. It's give you a bit of movement over here. And so it was all new, and so I had to learn about arthritis, and that's what I've been doing, and it's been really, really interesting. And so far, it's all going very well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep you updated. So when we started the supplements, I wrote down how Hamps was and how his arthritis was, and then at some point, I don't know when, or maybe a month or 2 months, maybe something like that, I will do an update on how we're doing with the supplements, because at the moment, all I can say is it's been amazing. Really, really, so much improvement. Really, loads of improvement from where he was. So, yeah, that's it. So, as always, now I'm on Instagram and I'm on Twitter. But as of recording this, so where are we now? November the 15th, 2022. I'm not getting on very well with Instagram because all I get is people wanting me to promote their stuff. That's all I get. That's all I get. There's no conversation, there's no interaction. That's all I'm getting, and I'm fed up with it. So I'm much more active on Twitter because that's where I'm getting to talk to you people. I'm getting to talk to you about your dogs, backwards and forwards with different ideas, what you're doing, how things are going. And that's what I'm interested in. I'm not interested in selling products for people. I'm interested in helping dogs and talking to you and finding out what you're doing and what's working. And I just love hearing when you've done something that I've done and that it's worked for your dog. Oh, we're getting kicked here. I love hearing that. It really, really is lovely. So, yeah, so Twitter's, I'm much more active on Twitter, but I am on Instagram as well. I do post on there every day, but it's just not the same. But, yeah, so if you're on Twitter or Instagram, come over, tell me, say hello. I really love talking to you. So that's it. So I'm going to leave you now. Sleepy little boy there. He sleeps like that all the way through till lunchtime. Fast asleep. So I'll leave you now with all my sleepy boys. I've got another one behind me here. These two here. And I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.